Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to lay it down for you. How to spot a narcissist by what they say, okay? When you've been around enough narcissists, like I have, you'll be able to see a pattern with these people just by the way they speak to you, okay? So I'm going to go into how to spot a narcissist, like you're talking to a narcissist. Number one, you guys, I'm going to give you different scenarios. Like in the beginning, when you first start talking to somebody, let's say you met them on a dating app, or let's just say you just started talking to somebody, notice what the conversation is, okay? A narcissist who's just looking for sex is never going to want to get too personal with you. They're not going to want to ask you personal questions about yourself. But a narcissist who's looking for money is going to ask more detailed questions. They're going to really want to know the ins and outs of you to manipulate you. They put more work into it, all right? So you got to listen to what the narcissist says and what the narcissist is talking about to know what the narcissist is after. And you'll know that by the conversation that you have with them. Also, another thing that I want to point out with the narcissist on, how to spot a narcissist by how they talk. Notice if the narcissist is always talking about themselves. Because a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with an overt or grandiose narcissist, you'll have a conversation with them and it's all about them. They're talking about themselves. They're talking about their dog. They're talking about their kids. They're talking about their career. And they're not even asking you questions about yourself. Why? Because they don't care. They're self-absorbed. Now, the caveat to that is you've got to be very, very careful in the beginning, because narcissists in the beginning put their best foot forward to pretend that they're very into you. So they may, like I said before, a narcissist who's after something big, like money or a place to stay, or have you invest in something, they're going to, give you the spotlight, and they're going to be asking you a lot of questions to make you feel important, to try to pretend that they're interested in you. So you really have to look at the timing of things. Like I said, in the beginning, everybody's nice, and you're not going to really see it in the beginning. That's why you got to give it time. And then slowly they get tired with the act and they drop their guard. And then you really see their true behaviors. And one of those behaviors is that they constantly talk about themselves. Another characteristic, a way to spot a narcissist by how they talk, is whether they keep interrupting you. Narcissists love to interrupt you. Why? Because they don't care what you have to say. They don't want to give you any kudos or tell you you're right or give you that power and control. So they'll constantly interrupt you. But the irony in all of that is narcissists love to say that you're always talking. Oh, you're always talking. I can't get a word in edgewise. When it's really the narcissist who's always talking. But see, what they do is they project who they are onto you to give you that seed of doubt so that you're afraid to open your mouth, because they give you a complex where they make you feel like you're the one who's always talking and you're not, all right? That's because that narcissist wants the control, all right? Another sign to spot a narcissist by what they say, you guys, is whether they're gossiping. Now, this is an old time saying, all right? Beware of those who gossip about others, because one day they'll be gossiping about you. And that couldn't be more true. So when you're talking to a narcissist and they're talking badly about other people all the time, just know that that narcissist is going to be talking badly about you. They can't resist. They love to talk badly about everybody. And you will also fall into that pit as well. When they're angry or mad at you, they'll be gossiping and talking about you. So always, you guys, always, all right? I tell my daughter this all the time. Watch out for people that constantly are gossiping about other people, because they will be gossiping and smearing you down the road, okay? You're not free from it. It's like I also say too, watch how they treat other people, because how they treat other people is how they're going to treat you as well, all right? So another sign on how to spot a narcissist by what they say is whether they're a gossiper, all right? Another thing to notice about narcissists and the conversation with them is that narcissists don't have a true identity. They always have to mirror others, okay? Why? Because they're afraid to have a true authentic self, because then they might be targeted. So they feel safe in mirroring other people and how they act, how they dress. And one of the ways they mirror you is they repeat what you say. So I'll give you an example, how they gaslight, and they just repeat your conversation. They're not authentic. Like, for instance, let's say you accuse them of cheating. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to flip the blame and accuse you of cheating. Like, they will never sit there and defend themselves. Their greatest defense is an offense. So in order to do that, they just repeat whatever you're attacking them with. They're going to attack you with the same things, to the point where you're like, does this person have their own mind? They're just repeating everything that I say. And you'll see that with narcissists. They never ever have their own or identity in conversation. They always repeat what you say. They repeat what other people say. They don't have that true identity. Another way to identify a narcissist by what comes out of their mouth, and this is a big one, is whether they're critical and judgmental. This is a sure sign that you're dealing with a narcissist, because they are very critical and judgmental people. So they'll always have something to say. They'll always, tell you, they'll never ever, acknowledge you or give you praise unless they have to or they really want something out of you. So they'll always be critical and judgmental, and they'll say, well, why don't you do this? Or what, it's nice how you cut the grass, but you missed a couple of spots on the side, or you did this or you did that. They always look for a hair in an egg. Why? Because they have to have that control. And the way they get that control is to tell you how to do something. They are the authority on things. So a narcissist, notice in the conversation, they always have to tell you how to do something. They're also a dictator, and they show it in different ways. Like when you're dealing with an overt or grandiose or malignant narcissist, they're going to show it, overtly, by ordering you around, being a dictator, telling you what you should be doing in the house. You should be cleaning this. You should be doing that. You should be doing this. Blah, 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 blah. That, it's never a partnership with a narcissist. You're with a dictator. And that's why you walk on eggshells, because they're so damn critical and judgmental that you just can't relax. You just can't, kick back and be okay, because everything you do is under the microscope, okay? And the way with a covert narcissist, they handle it in a subliminal type of way, in the sense that they show their disdain by doing things like rolling their eyes, giving you a smirk. They don't necessarily tell you, but you see it in their body language and their facial gestures, the sarcastic way they look at you and judge you, all right? Without actually coming out and saying it, but they make you feel uncomfortable and give you a complex, all right? So the way a narcissist talks to you, a lot of times they could be a dictator and an authoritarian. I can't talk this morning. Sorry, guys. It's so early. They're the authority on everything. All right. Now, moving on. Another sign, all right, that I want to bring up about spotting a narcissist, and this is a big one, all right, is they're always trying to impress you. And you see this on the dating apps. or when you first start meeting somebody, they're constantly trying to impress you. Maybe they're sending you pictures of them flexing their body at the gym, okay? And you're supposed to be like, oh, wow. Oh, that's terrific. Or they post pictures on their Facebook about when they're with celebrities or athletes or politicians. They're trying to impress everybody. And you see this in families as well. Like you see family members, post things on Facebook of, oh, I was with this one, I was with that one. Why? Because they're insecure and they're trying to impress all their friends and other family members that they are a somebody because they're associated with a prominent person, a celebrity, an athlete, a politician. So their conversation will always try to impress people. So when you have a conversation, they'll be bringing up things like, oh yeah, I. So what they're going to do, you guys, is that they're going to constantly try to impress you. And another way they try to impress you is by their language. Maybe, if you're dealing with a cerebral type of narcissist, they're going to try to impress you by bringing up books that they read or, how smart they are, or the fact, they'll bring up, I read in the New York Times this. They'll quote things to try to constantly impress you and make you feel like you're stupid, all right? So you'll know by the conversation because what they're going to do is they're going to talk down to you, all right? Like I said, when you're with a narcissist because you're not on the same plane as them. They think they're above you. They think they're superior to you. So the conversation is they're going to talk down to you. They're going to even talk to you like they're the parent and you're the child. Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody, or if you have a narcissistic parent, they definitely talk down to you like you're the subordinate. They never ever respect you as an individual. You are always underneath them, okay? I'm the parent. I'm the mother, all right? I'm above you. I'm the mother. I'm the father. What I say goes, all right? And especially old school type of parents are like this. They talk down to you. You're beneath them. They don't respect your boundaries. So by the conversation. Now, another thing that I want to add with how to spot a narcissist by how they talk is the tone in their voice, all right? Narcissists, they can have a very dominating type of tone where they try to intimidate you. They may talk loud. They may yell, they may scream. Narcissists want you to fear them. A lot of them want you to fear them. So they talk like, they're so in control. They know what's going on. They're the authority. And, they always have to call the shots. That's how you're dealing with a narcissist. They always have to call the shots. They never, ever let you take control, and especially in a conversation. Remember what I told you from the beginning of this podcast. The only time a narcissist is going to give you that control is during the love bombing when they want you to feel special. They want you to feel important. But once they know that they've got you, they're going to talk down to you because you are beneath them and they want you to feel like, you are lower than them. They are smarter than you and that they know better about everything. Now, another thing that's really important I want to bring up here, how to identify a narcissist or spot a narcissist is with the conversation is by gaslighting. Oh my God, you guys, you got to learn gaslighting. Once you know gaslighting, you're going to be able to spot that narcissist, okay? So some of the common gaslighting tactics they use is, amnesia. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, it didn't happen that day. I don't even know what I did yesterday, all right? Or they'll say things like, or they'll blatantly lie to you and say that didn't happen. Or they'll say you have mental issues to try to diffuse the situation and put the shame on you and make you think that you're crazy. Okay, so You'll never get a clear, succinct answer from a narcissist because they're not transparent. They will put you in a state of confusion. And this is one of the sure signs that you're dealing with a narcissist is they confuse you with their conversation, all right? You never know where you stand. And that's exactly what they want. They want to confuse you, all right? Because their father is Satan, the father of confusion, not of clarity and truth like God, all right? So anytime you're dealing with somebody and, after you have a conversation with them, you're all confused, you're dealing with a gaslighter most of the time, and possibly and probably a narcissist who's trying to confuse you and get out of taking accountability. So recognize all these type of things when you're trying to spot a narcissist. One last thing that I got to throw in, because I love to go after these covert narcissists. When you're dealing with a covert narcissist, and I've experienced all this, that's how I can say this when I'm sleeping, all right? When you're dealing with a covert narcissist, you'll notice that the conversation is on the surface, all right? I used to have that with my, covert narcissistic mother-in-law and other family members and covert narcissistic friends. They never, ever give you information about themselves. They want to know everything about you. Whoa, what's going on? How you been? What's going on? But when you ask them anything about them, they don't divulge any information. They're guarded. They hold back. All right. Why? Because they don't want to tell you. They're secretive people that don't want to open up and tell you too much. So notice in the conversation, if the conversation is on the surface, you're talking about the weather, you're talking about things in the news, you're talking about the dog, you're talking about, things that are not personal, not deep. The conversation's on the surface. You could be dealing with a narcissist, or you could be dealing with somebody who just doesn't want to get close to you, all right? And you'll notice that too when you're dealing with a narcissist who's just after sex as a supply. You see this on the dating apps. They ask you two basic questions, do you have kids and what you do for work? And then they don't ask you anything else about yourself. Why? Because they don't care. And they'll be talking about other things. They may be talking about your body. They may be talking about, they're going to try to seduce you. They're going to be talking about sex a lot. What somebody talks about tells you what's on their brain. Go listen to my podcast about how to identify what supply, or how to know what supply that narcissist is after. All you got to do, you guys, is kick back and listen. Talk less and listen more. And these narcissists, they tell on themselves and they unravel who they are when you really listen to what comes out of their mouth, or when you listen to what doesn't come out of their mouth, all right? It's not always what comes out, it's what doesn't come out, and especially with the covert narcissist. Because again, remember what I told you, they're guarded people. They're not going to come out and divulge their secrets to you. So the conversation will be on the surface, all right? One last thing that I want to bring up, I'm coming up with all these things, is if they're sarcastic. I always say in conversation, watch a sarcastic individual, because this is somebody who can't tell you how they really feel directly, and they have to be sarcastic to throw you a dig. This is a dangerous person, because this is a person who is not in your corner, all right? When I say dangerous, I mean that, you're not dealing with a transparent, truthful, straight up type of person. You're dealing with somebody who's indirect. Sarcasm is indirect, and it's passive-aggressive behavior. Covert narcissists use it all the time. So notice if they're constantly sarcastic, or they do something and say, that was just a joke. I was just joking. But you're feeling a certain way because you just got slighted by their sarcasm. All right. So you've got to pick up on your gut feelings. The gut never lies the way people lie. So if you're feeling a certain way by a remark they made, it's because they're trying to slight you. And you have to pick up on these indirect type of things that they say and their behaviors, and you'll see really what their intent is. Okay. So I hope that helps you guys. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. Don't forget, go follow me on YouTube. I'm moving over to YouTube eventually at the Game Exposed podcast on YouTube. I put everything on YouTube, you guys, all right? There's over 4,000 videos on Covert Narcissist, which I specialize in, the discard, the triangulation, gaslighting and all of that. Go to my YouTube channel at the Game Exposed podcast. Facebook and Instagram is the Game EXP123 for more posts. And if you're looking for one-on-one confidential phone coaching, go to the link in the bio to my website at askyaz.wixsite.com, where I explain how to get one-on-one personalized phone coaching. Okay? And have a great day.